Welcome to the AdExpert Podcast. Today, we are undertaking a really critical deep dive into the world of technical SEO. Specifically, we're focusing on that non-negotiable checklist for optimizing WordPress websites. We're going to cut through all the noise and pull out the essential actionable insights, and we're basing this on material from the LA-based digital agency AdExpert.
And this is really a deep dive into infrastructure, which is just so vital for anyone operating online today. I mean, technical SEO is the hidden engine, right? It's what makes sure your site performs well, that the user experience is good. And, most importantly, it gives search engines a clear roadmap to find your content. If you skip this part, honestly, no amount of great content is going to save you.
Absolutely right. And to understand the expertise here, AdExpert is a great resource to look at. They're a Los Angeles-based online marketing and web development agency. They've got over a decade of experience driving conversions in what is, one of the most competitive markets in the world.
Right. And they handle everything. We're talking Google Ads Management, website SEO, but also specialized stuff like local SEO and complex WordPress design and development. But what really makes their method stand out is this focus on precision and real-time agility.
That real-time element is so key. You can see in their notes that they use innovative AI solutions for customer targeting and lean heavily on live tracking and reporting. So this is not a set-it-and-forget-it strategy, not at all. It's about continuous optimization. And the team behind this includes founder and strategist Sam Ashrafi and Ehsan Nabilvadi, who's their dedicated SEO and professional analytics expert. They're constantly pushing things forward.
And that holistic approach, combining that big picture strategic vision with really deep analytical skill, that's what gives this technical checklist its weight. It's built on proven success, not just theory.
Okay, let's unpack this checklist, starting where AdExpert begins, with the foundation. We're talking about monitoring and, crucially, speed.
What's so interesting here is that the very first step, it isn't coding. It's not even content. It's measurement. You can't fix what you can't measure. So step one, set up Google Analytics immediately. You need to track performance and get those basic traffic insights. But the source material is very clear. That's not enough.
Right, and here's where I want to maybe push back a little. Yep. In a market like LA, where Google has, 90% of the search market, is the time it takes to set up and monitor Bing Webmaster tools really worth it? Is it just insurance?
It's insurance, but it's also efficiency. Look, AdExpert notes that while Google is number one, ignoring Bing is basically ignoring free diagnostics. Bing gives you excellent optimization suggestions, and sometimes those suggestions reveal underlying problems you might have missed in Search Console. It's a tiny bit of effort for a pretty significant diagnostic return. You want to be on every platform.
Fair enough. Okay, so once the monitoring is locked down, we move right into site speed. The sources stress this isn't just a user convenience, it's a crucial ranking factor.
Yeah.
A slow website is basically a penalty waiting to happen.
Yeah, and the evaluation starts with Google PageSpeed Insights. That tool gives you a specific, actionable roadmap, but the action items themselves, that's what really defines the technical foundation.
And the number one action item for WordPress is caching. But let's go a little deeper than just saying use a caching plugin. What is that actually doing on a technical level?
It's all about minimizing waste. See, WordPress is database-driven, so every time someone visits a page, the server runs PHP code. It queries the database. It's a lot of work. Caching just takes a snapshot of the final HTML output and saves that static file directly.
So it bypasses all that heavy lifting.
Exactly. It bypasses the PHP execution for every single request, which drastically reduces server load and, of course, the load time. It's absolutely non-negotiable.
And then you pair that with image optimization, compressing images, serving them in next-gen formats, and then the global solution, a CDN.
A content delivery network, yes. A CDN is essential, especially if you have an international audience. It basically spreads your static files, images, CSS, JavaScript across servers all over the world. So when a user in London visits your LA-hosted site, the assets get served from a server in Europe. It cuts down the physical distance the data travel.
Which shaves off milliseconds.
Milliseconds that add up. It results in a noticeable speed boost and a much better Core Web Vitals score.
So that technical trio caching, optimization, and a CDN that gets the engine running fast. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about visibility. Once the search engine gets to your fast site, you have to make sure they know exactly where to go. This is all about crawlability and indexing.
And the absolute first step in that communication is the XML sitemap. The sources are so clear on this. Generate it and submit it. And while most people know what a sitemap is, the nuance is really in the submission strategy.
Right. It has to be submitted to both Google Search Console and Bing Webmaster tools. If you just wait for them to find your pages naturally, especially on a big site or a new site, they could miss entire sections. A sitemap guarantees they see everything you want them to see.
But a map only works if the roads are clear. You have to be in Google Search Console constantly, checking for crawl errors. Crawl errors are roadblocks. A 404 broken links, a server error, the bot just stops and moves on.
And that directly hurts your rankings.
Directly.
Which brings us to managing content changes and duplication. This is probably the most common technical error I see on WordPress sites. Let's talk canonical tags.
Canonical tags are your declaration of authority. They are vital for fixing what's called link equity dilution. So imagine you have two URLs with the same content. Maybe one is page and the other is page.sessionxyz. Without a canonical tag telling search engines that page is the real one, Google just doesn't know which one to give the ranking credit to.
And if they have to guess, they might just split the authority, basically cutting the value of your backlinks in half. The canonical tag consolidates all that value onto one URL.
Exactly. It solves the duplicate content issue entirely. And right behind that is the proper use of 301 redirects. If you move content, if you delete a page, change a URL, you must use a 301.
Okay, but why the emphasis on a 301 specifically? Couldn't you just use a 302?
The distinction is critical. A 301 signals a permanent move. This tells the search engine, transfer all of the old page's authority, all its page rank, to this new page. A 302 signals a temporary move, so the search engine won't transfer that authority because it expects the old page to come back.
So if you use a 302 for a permanent change, you lose all that ranking power.
A disastrous and totally avoidable loss, yeah. Using 301s is just fundamental site hygiene.
Okay, transitioning into site structure itself, this helps both search engines and, actual human users. Let's talk about URLs.
Exactly. The URL should be like a little breadcrumb trail. It needs to be clean, short, and it should have relevant keywords. The goal is comprehension at a glance. AdExpert specifically says to avoid those long URLs clogged with parameters or random numbers. It just confuses bots and frustrates users.
And once you're inside the site, we have internal linking. The anchor text, the clickable text, needs to be descriptive. But let's talk about external links. I know they can signal authority, but isn't there a risk of losing the user by sending them away? How do you balance that?
That's a great point. It has to be a strategic decision. You don't link out just for the sake of it. But if you're citing, say, a major industry study or government data, linking to that source does two things. First, it builds trust with your reader.
Because you're backing up your claims.
Right. And second, it signals to search engines that your content is well-researched, that it lives in a high-quality neighborhood of information. That boosts your own trustworthiness. It's a calculated risk that's usually worth taking.
And this is where the technical checklist really merges with user experience. Core Web Vitals. CWV. This isn't abstract. It's a huge Google ranking factor.
That's right. CWV evaluates user experience based on 3 specific measurable metrics. Let's break them down.
Okay, first one. LCP, or largest contentful paint.
LCP measures loading performance, specifically how long it takes for the biggest thing on the page, an image, a block of text, to become visible. If LCP is slow, it's usually unoptimized images or something blocking the page from rendering. The user feels it immediately as slowness.
Next is FID. First, input delay. This is all about interactivity.
Yeah, FID measures how responsive your page is when a user clicks a link or a button. If it takes too long to respond, it's usually because the browser is busy executing a ton of JavaScript. A high FID is that frustrating, laggy experience where you click something and nothing happens.
And finally, CLS, cumulative layout shift. Visual stability. This is the one that always seems to catch people out.
Oh, yeah. CLS measures how much content unexpectedly jumps around while the page is loading. You're reading an article, and an ad suddenly pops in and pushes all the text down.
I hate that.
Everyone does. It's usually caused by images without defined dimensions or ads loading in. Optimizing all 3 of these, LCP, FID, and CLS, is what gives you that seamless experience Google wants to see.
And since SEO is never a one-time thing, we have to mention ongoing keyword research.
Right. You need to regularly refine your keywords using tools like SEMrush or Google Keyword Planner. The goal isn't just to find terms, it's to find high-traffic terms that are still relevant, to make sure all this technical effort drives traffic that actually converts.
Now, for the WordPress user, a lot of this heavy lifting can be streamlined with some specialized plugins.
Oh, for sure. We're talking about comprehensive SEO plugins like Yoast SEO or Rank Math. They're the industry standards. These plugins are basically a technical shortcut. They guide you on metadata, they automatically generate your XML sitemap, they help manage your robots.txt file, all without you having to touch a line of code.
They save a ton of time and effort.
A significant amount.
And tying this whole checklist back to AdExpert's philosophy,
Yeah.
you see that commitment to a data-driven approach that makes all this technical work so necessary.
Exactly. They don't guess. They combine historical client data with competitor analysis to build these tailored marketing strategies. And the technical stability we just talked about, the speed, the clean indexing, that's what makes their measurement reliable in the first place.
Which really highlights the value of that live tracking capability. They can make real-time decisions, optimize on the fly, instead of waiting for a quarterly report to find out something went wrong.
It's a perfect feedback loop. Technical stability creates accurate data, and accurate data informs strategic, profitable decisions.
So let's just summarize the absolute must-haves from this checklist. To make your WordPress site friendly for search engines and for users, you have to prioritize site speed and core web vitals. You have to create and submit XML sitemaps. And you need to correctly use canonical tags and permanent 301 redirects whenever content moves.
What's really fascinating here is AdExpert's commitment to continuous testing. For instance, running A/B tests on conversion points. So here's a thought I want to leave you with. If your technical foundation is solid, if your site is fast, crawlable, and properly indexed, what new user experience tests could you run right now to actually use that stability and push your conversions even higher? That's the powerful connection between diligent tech work and actual profitability.
That's the critical thought to end on. And to execute on that, we strongly encourage you to use those tracking tools, Google Analytics and Google Search Console, as a regular health monitor for your site. You just can't optimize what you can't measure.